So, this is what the card says, okay? It says, "Hi, my love. I just want to tell you the truth, and that's that I love you. And this very special date, I'm guessing Valentine's, I want to thank you for all the time and the really good moments that we've had together for this year and 7 months. I love you, Johnny."
Mm.
Well, this is the same person who I dated for a while and who then later verbally and physically abused me.
Oh my God.
The question is, where does the love go? Or is that a kind of love?
No.
Today, we're going to be talking about heartbreak, ghosting, and just what is love and where does it go when you no longer talk to this person. Welcome to the actual episode.
10.
Sex,
Relationships.
careers,
And just plain life. From the experience of two Latina actresses.
welcome to the Unfiltered.
Hi, I am Vanessa Tomasino,
And I'm Maria Bruson.
and I decided that it was good to talk about this because you brought it up in episode 1, where you said something along the lines of, why do we have to respond in a super sane way or act calm when we no longer talk to the people that we used to talk all the time?
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, I found this box. Let me pull it out.
Mementos.
This box that I found in my house filled with love letters
Damn.
from the different boyfriends I've had. And I decided to revisit it. And I thought, oh my God, where does all the love go?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Does it just dissipate? Does it just like...
does it?
Do you stop loving someone, or do you just like love them but then move on and love other people? It just like becomes a list of people who you still love, or
I
what
don't know.
happens?
I don't know. That's the question is,
Mm-hmm.
do we still have feelings for these people that played such an important role in our lives, regardless if it's like the case that I just exposed? That letter that I showed is from, unfortunately, from one, or fortunately, I don't know, we learned it was a lesson. If from a boyfriend I had who, within the relationship, he ended up abusing me in different ways. But yet, if you were to look at our relationship from the outside, if you were to read this letter, you would say
Oh,
they,
you're in love. You're a perfect couple.
yeah, they love each other.
Mm-hmm.
He does profess many times that he loves me. So what happened?
Can you love someone and still abuse them physically, emotionally?
Is that how they love?
It's interesting because did you ever talk about his past, his upbringing? I feel like there's many factors that come into play.
Yeah.
Some people, I don't want to excuse abusers because there's no excuse, but I usually watch a lot of documentaries and series where abuse is usually a pattern, and it's like a um, something that you learn
Yeah.
to do. And some people, that's the only thing they know, and that's how they think love is supposed to be like.
Well, aren't we all like that though?
Abusers?
I don't know, a level of abuse. I mean, if you think back at your relationships,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever been harsh with your partners? I have.
I have.
Okay. So at that moment in time, with that particular person, we were the abusers. Do you get where I'm
But
coming
I
from?
haven't been harsh in a way that's that's potentially, I don't know.
Criminal.
Yeah, like
I think there are perhaps degrees of harm. For example, I've never hit a partner.
me neither.
I've never uh, touched them inappropriately. You know what I mean? Like if they didn't
Mm-hmm.
want to be touched, I've never
Mm-hmm.
done that. But I have been verbally abusive. You know,
Me
where
too.
I've
Yeah.
said things that I shouldn't have said, and and I've been and I've done things that have caused harm to that person. Whether it was unconscious or conscious, it doesn't matter. The harm was still done. So I think that when we talk about abuse and harm, perhaps there's like different, like the spectrum, right? There's like different forms of harm, and sometimes the ones I've come across have been extreme. So for example, with that boyfriend, that was extreme. You know, I still can wrap my brain around the idea of him calling me baby, my love, I love you, and then calling me a slut or the C word,
Mm-hmm.
or I hope you
Mm-hmm.
die, or I'd rather kill you than see you with someone else. Like, I don't understand how that can happen parallel to each
Mm-hmm.
other. So I think we all have that potential of harming people, depending of, like you said, your upbringing, your social surroundings, perhaps. Uh, but aren't we all like that? I mean, when I started therapy this year, I realized that a lot of my actions were coming from this place of trauma, and
Mm-hmm.
that most of the relationships I've had have been affected by my reactionary approach because I was in pain.
Mm-hmm.
So, was he in pain? Probably.
Maybe. I think aren't we all in
Aren't
pain?
we all in pain?
Um. Okay. Now that you mention how you have been verbally abusive in the
Yeah.
past, um, I have also been verbally abusive. You know, I've insulted my ex partners, but then I try to look at like the context of the situation.
Hmm.
I was what 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
I like there was no emotional intelligence.
Of course. Yeah.
I had no way to analyze and assess or like
No
say
tools.
no
Hmm.
tools to use and be able to be emotional intelligent. And now as an adult, where now that I have tools and I've been to therapy and I decided to have a conscious, respectful relationship at this point in my life, I look back and I think that there's no way you can have a healthy relationship in where you insult someone and then the next minute you call them baby. Like
Yeah.
for me that's very confusing. Like which one is it? Like am I a bitch or you or am I the best girlfriend in the world? You know, you
Hmm.
can't have both things.
It definitely creates a pathological relationship for sure.
Mhm.
And the people need to go to therapy. I mean, this is something we've mentioned a few times. I
Mhm.
think we should all be in therapy because I still find it amazing that we communicate.
Therapy's for everyone, not only
Yeah.
broken ones.
I was talking to somebody the other day and they said, "Oh yeah, I was in therapy and everyone thought I was crazy because I was in therapy."
There's a lot of taboo.
I know, and I was like, "It's 2022. Therapy is like in."
If anything, right now is like the time to be in therapy. Like it's like a
Yes.
trend.
It is a new trend, and you discover how to live a better life through going to therapy. You know, you become more aware about your surroundings and who you are, and all these trauma that have been dictating your actions or your decisions. I mean, wonderful. Why not go to therapy? It is expensive though. Let's just point that out. I was reading a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Mhm.
I just finished it the other day. I enjoyed it. I mean, it is written from a very masculine point of view, which is totally fine. Um, but there are a few things that really made me think a lot about my life and the things that we can't control. And we can never control how people feel about us. And we can never control their actions when they're going through because we all have baggage and we all have things that we're working through.
Yeah.
If we are in therapy and we're doing great, we can't expect our partners to be in therapy and do great as well. Maybe their journey is harder than
Oh,
ours, you
definitely.
know?
Everyone's journey is completely different.
But then how do you have a relationship like that? Like if your partner is struggling, with their own life, how on earth are they with you? You know, like without hurting you?
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point there's going to be some backlash, there's going to be some reaction. You may get hurt and then be resentful towards them because they hurt you at that point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it becomes this like heavy or possible heavy baggage that starts accumulating in a relationship, and then you have to, you know, you save it because you love the person, but then you also love yourself. So how much are you going to be willing to put up with?
Um, I feel like in situations like that, I two things. First, I think you have to look at the at how old the relationship is. Like if you're starting a relationship and
Mm-hmm.
you need therapy and like you're not in that level of, you know, that you trust that people, that the person, I'm sorry. um it happened to me, like with my relationship right now. We met a long time ago and it was just not the right timing for either of us. We were
Mm-hmm.
both getting into therapy, we were both having our own struggles,
Yeah.
and it wasn't the right time then, because we both consciously knew that um if we stayed together we could have hurt each other,
Yeah.
especially more him than me. Like he could have hurt me so
Mm-hmm.
much that probably we could have never been together in
Yeah.
the future.
Mm.
And it was like it was a pretty new relationship. But then if you know, are in a marriage, you know each other years, there's trust, there's um this level of intimacy as well, emotionally and physically.
Yeah.
And one of you needs therapy for whatever reason, like work, personal life, um, whatever it is. I feel like it's easier to be able to support your partner
Mm-hmm.
through that process. But when you're in something new, you don't really know what to expect. You don't know where it's going. You don't really know
Yeah.
that person.
Yeah. Are you going to invest time in that
Like
person?
you and well, my therapist back then, when I was first talking to my now boyfriend, um something that like really broke my heart is I told her and I cried and I said, but I don't know if he's gonna get better. How
Mm-hmm.
do I know if he's gonna get better and we can be together in the future?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you
You
can't know
can.
that. You have to let go. You need to let go.
Yeah.
Because if not, you are gonna end up fucking each other up.
Yeah. Because you have no control of that.
You cannot, and there's no guarantee someone's gonna get better.
Yeah. No, and it's their journey. Like
Hmm.
it's not our job to make them better. It's
And you're not here to be a mother to him either.
no.
Like if you are gonna invest your time and your feelings and everything into a relationship, like you need someone who's gonna be there
Mm-hmm.
and be able to give to you everything you deserve. And it's not like he wasn't, deserving of my love or being with
No, of
me,
course
but
not.
he was not ready. I was not ready. Timing was off. Everything was off.
And then let's come back to ready, because I remember a listener pointed this out on one of our episodes where we said somebody coming back when they're ready or we're ready, and they wrote, what does ready mean? And I thought that was
Hmm.
a really good point. Like, how do
Hmm.
we know we're ready, and what does it mean to be
Hmm.
ready?
Hmm.
And this same book that I was telling you about, it says we're always wrong. So we have to accept that as human beings, we're always wrong.
Hmm.
Okay. But life and all these lessons teach us how to become less wrong.
Hmm.
So we're always wrong. So if we're always wrong, are we are we ever ready? We are perhaps less wrong.
We're never, yeah, we're never gonna be
No.
ready. I always talk about how I'm terrified of motherhood, and
Ah,
I always
you
say,
should be.
and I
It's
always say
horrible.
like I'm
Yeah.
not ready right now, and
Yeah.
people, mothers always tell me you're not never gonna be ready.
You're
You're
never gonna
never
be
gonna be
ready.
ready. So I think in relationships, it's not like you're gonna be ready, but when it's easy, that's when you know it's time. When it's just everything, it's easy.
And I
I was talking to one of
mhm.
my godmother, and she asked me about my new relationship and everything, and I started, I smiled and I was glowing and everything, and she said, "So everything's just easy," and I'm like, "Yeah, everything's just easy."
Mhm.
I wasn't ready,
Yeah.
like 100% ready. I never saw it coming either,
Yeah.
and it just happened. But it was easy. Everything just, there was no complications, no drama, no nothing.
Oh, how lovely that sounds. I wonder what that feels like. Yeah, motherhood. It's you're never ready. I mean, this is my sixth day without sleep. My kids have been sick, both of them. I have two, one age 5, one age a year and 9 months. So when they get sick, and I'm in the middle of them, and so I don't sleep. And people don't get this. It's like Chinese torture, like that drop that hits your
Oh
head.
yeah.
Okay, so that water drop, right? That's exactly what it feels like when you have like very or different days where you don't sleep. One day's okay. I remember the first day I was like, I did it, mama luchona, right? Like I'm the super mom. Day 2, I'm okay, I did it again. Day 3, I'm like, wait, who am I? And it got worse and worse, and now I'm at day 6, and I'm disoriented. I'm not gonna lie, I feel disoriented. But nobody tells you about that. You're never ready to not sleep for days. You're never ready to see your kids suffer. You're never ready to lose a child, because I have many friends who have lost their children, and I lost my first pregnancy. So you're never really ready for that. So are we ever ready for anything?
No, I think it's just right moment, right time, not that you're actually 100% ready for anything.
Yeah.
I don't think I will be ever ready to, say yes to a huge role in a movie. I don't think I'm ever gonna be like 100% confident that I can do it, but I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah. Yes, you will. You will soon. Agent talking. Agent, mentor, coach talking.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the same for relationships, for motherhood, for getting married.
Oh, God, that's another
Like,
biggie. It's like you start laughing and then you end up crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're never ready. But here's the thought. Okay. So if we're never ready, but we know life is really short, because life is really short, we have to take risks. Like, we have to live life in a way that it feels like we're always ready. You know what I mean? Like, if like the book said, it's like you can't just wait because you're afraid to fail, and then you don't live your life, and then you die and you never lived your life. If you're going to live your life and you know you're going to fail at something that you want, right?
Yeah.
So failing at loving somebody, why not, right? If you really fall for that person, you don't know if this person's going to like you back, or if you're going to suffer in the relationship, but you're there because you have to live fearlessly. This week, I one of my friends, so he wasn't even my friend, he was like an acquaintance. This guy, that he was a comedian, very good, by the way. For me, he was one of the best in Central America, and he passed away. Him and I talked online regularly. We had similar interests, and I always admired his work. I mean, for those of you who don't know me, hi. I am a stand up comedian addict. I love stand ups. It's just, I don't know. Every time that I'm sad, I turn to Netflix and stand up, and I just watch comedians work, and
Yeah.
I've done this since I was 14. I think my first stand up show was around that age. I went to Yuck Yucks, the comedy club in the States. And ever since, I've just been addicted to it. I've seen Screech live from Saved by the Bell. I've seen so many. I've seen. Who did I recently see? Who did I tell you I saw? This is the disorientation of not sleeping 6 days.
Eliza.
I haven't seen her live. No, but I love her. No, but who did I see
See
live?
live.
Ali Wong. God,
Wong.
I saw Ali Wong live. She's amazing. I love her. So that's the kind of person that I am, right? I love stand up. So he was a stand up comedian, and he was right up my alley. The jokes, the dryness, the sarcastic, and all that stuff. It was right up my alley, and it's really hard to find that kind of comedy in Central America. So I really loved him.
Especially because people usually stand-up comedians like make fun of our culture, and they're just like just making fun of our people, our culture, our country, our accents,
Yeah.
our food, and it's just like I don't think it's funny anymore.
No, it's not funny anymore. And he didn't do that. He made fun of himself, and it was a self-deprecating show, which I loved, because I do that about
'Cause we
myself
do
too.
it all the time.
Exactly, because that's, like I said, right up my alley. So anyway, so I found out that he had passed away, and the way I found out was through a post. somebody else's post saying that he had passed away. You know, it hurt me because I really liked him, and I had just talked to him like a week ago. And but what really hurt me was that it's almost like our friendship was invisible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like nobody knew that we were friends. Like he didn't come to, like, you never met him. He didn't come to my circles. I didn't go to his
Mm-hmm.
circles,
Yeah.
yet we were friends. And so when he passed away, it's like, who would communicate to you that that person had passed away if they don't know
Yeah.
your friends? It was really hard. It made me think and question friendships online. You know how they say that we're more connected now that there's Instagram and
Mm-hmm.
Facebook and you can reconnect with people that you haven't seen in years? Yeah, that's true, but also there's a huge disconnect in that if anything happens to that person, you would never know.
Yeah, it's someone they just like stop replying.
Yes, you would never know they passed away. And so I found out through a post, and I was so sad. And so I thought to myself, Jesus, like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here with these relationships, these friendships, these situationships, these imaginary imaginationships? Like, can we understand that this is a problem in our society?
Mm-hmm.
That no one is committing to anybody. Relationships are up in the air, but then suddenly you die. And then people don't get that. You should have been there for that person, or that person should have been there for you,
Mm-hmm.
or at least get a call from somebody, their parents, their friends. Somebody should know that you were friends, once again, it made me wonder, where does the love go? Like, what happens when you are in a relationship with somebody that you like, even if you're not, or not even in a relationship, a friendship or a situationship, whatever, and then you guys stop talking, whether it just fizzled out, like Teda Bertrand told us in that episode, where he said that sometimes just he no longer replied because things fizzled out. So
Mm-hmm.
whether things fizzled out, so where does that love go? Whether this person actively chooses not to reply and starts ghosting you, where do you put that love? Like, where does it go? Or if that person dies.
Hmm. I mean, I feel like when there's something very strange about death that like you remember that person, like because they their life ends, they don't keep growing, they don't grow old, and I feel like that love is just it just stays with you. But
Mm-hmm.
when you stop talking to someone because I don't know, love fizzles out or whatever,
Yeah.
it's different. Like someone when someone dies, like
You
you
know.
eternally
Yeah.
love them.
Mm-hmm. And you put that
I
energy
think that's
out
beautiful
there.
though.
That's beautiful. I
Hmm.
agree. I think you put that energy out there and you're like, you know what? If you messaged that person before, now you talk to them. And you're like, I miss you, whatever. You talk to them like you would talk to, like, your gods or God or whoever you
And
believe in.
like that love will never be replaced.
Exactly.
I feel like that's something beautiful, but with a partner or a friend that you're not no longer friends with, I mean, so it depends on each situation. Like for some people, for some ex-lovers, ex-boyfriends and ex-friendships, I just it's like I never knew them. Like I erased them from my life.
It's like they were never there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they were there.
Yeah. It's
So that's
weird.
the question. And you brought it up. It's like we have to stay calm at this situation. I'm going to read you another letter that I found, but from that I also found other messages where we had amazing conversations with all these other people, all these other, relationships, situationships, whatever you want to call them. And then suddenly they're gone
Hmm.
and they're still alive. So what happens to the people that are alive and that you just no longer talk to? Zero contact. And you know that they are living their life, they are working, they're hanging out with their friends who perhaps are also your friends,
Hmm.
and it's almost like this person that was so close to you suddenly is not in your life anymore. And it wasn't like a breakup where you're like, this is not working, I'll see you around. It's definite, it is what it is. But what if it was talking stages with someone, or a situationship where you were dating, 10 months or 11 months, whatever. And then suddenly the person just stopped replying, or you stop replying, and then they're alive.
Um, that has never happened to me, and like,
Oh, you lucky girl.
no, but like, no, in the sense that I'm able to cut them off out of my life because
Before.
because they don't hang out with the same people as I do. Like, they're not in my circle or anything, so it's easier. The only person that has happened to me that has happened to me with was one of my friends, and we still are like friends, like cordial, but we had like an incident that it really hurt me, and I felt that was very, very unfair. And we do share the same group of friends.
Oh.
So it's hard, and the love is there because we have so many years that we have in common, in like school and everything, and memories and part, like everything. And we did life together for most of my life, most of my childhood, teenage, and young adult years. And I don't think the love fizzles out. I feel like it's still there, but it's a different kind of love because now there's sadness to it
Because you're hurt.
and pain. Yeah.
Okay, but and that makes sense. If there is hurt, then it's almost, I think, I don't know, you can correct me, but maybe it's easier to walk away because of the pain.
It's somewhat easier, but you know how they say, like there's a very fine line between love and hate and sadness. So like the love is there, it's just a different kind of love.
Yeah.
But when you're actually indifferent about someone, that's when like love just, it's not there anymore.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I don't know, but I don't hate anybody. I don't even hate my abuser. Like, I think I've come to terms with it, but I don't hate him. Like,
Hate is a very strong word.
hate is a very strong word. And I also don't hate people in general, even the bullies from school and stuff like that. Quite the opposite. I've made friends with them. I also have, for those of you, once again, who don't know me, I have a terrible memory. So I forget fights, and I forget things that I'm resentful about. I just forget. And so it's good because then I can start fresh. It's
And
like,
that's
I
a
don't know
really
you.
good thing for relationships, because like if you think about how, just like a parenthesis right now, like, will I remember this fight tomorrow? No, I probably won't. So it's just like, let's just not fight over this.
Yeah. At the same time, you also forget people, which is not good. So there are people that I have loved, and now I don't remember.
I was gonna ask, why do you still have that box? Like, you
I don't
like to
know.
remember.
That's the thing. I think
I
that's
like
why.
to remember.
Well, once again, I forget things, so I keep most photos, most of everything I keep, because then I forget. And that's the thing. I forgot about this. And I found it, and it's like, it was like a treasure, to find all
love
this
that.
stuff. And
Yeah.
then I found this amazing letter. Hold on. I think I have a picture of, I'm not going to show it to the people because we're not Taylor Swifting anybody here. But
Oh yeah.
but let me show you. I think I have. I think I have a picture of the guy.
This is very vintage.
Oh, what?
This is very vintage.
Of course. This is like the 90s. This is him. Isn't it weird? It's so weird to see him. Because you think, when I started dating him, like, I loved him. He's the guy who eventually, like, I loved him, and then suddenly things just change. And then, so it's very confusing, because when I look at this picture, I look at the moment. This is how he looked when I fell in love with him.
The happy times.
The happy times. I was not expecting everything else. Like, I did not see that yellow school bus that was going to hit me. This is a letter from somebody else. some other boyfriend I had. Look at this. This is long.
Yeah, I like his handwriting.
Oh yeah, you do.
It's very pretty. Like mine's like chaotic.
And this is really cool. Look at this. This is where you can ignore the name. This is he went away for a while to work, and he left me this Manila envelope, and it had letters for every single day that he was gone. And I would have to read it. I couldn't get ahead. Like I would have to read it every day, and he would say something different, and he would have letters, and the letters of like a letter written, right? And then in the corner, he would have a letter. And then at the end, I have to put the letters together, and there was a secret message.
Nice.
Yes. So these are all the letters. Look at this. Isn't it amazing? I love this kid. Like, I really loved him, like, a lot. We were.
Maybe he's the Zodiac killer. Just kidding.
Maria, you're not supposed to say that. I love this kid. This is not the same one I showed you. This is somebody else. He and I were almost identical. It was like dating myself. Like it was a mirror. I loved him. He was perfect. He was perfect.
Tell me you love yourself without telling me you love yourself.
And this is the end of the show. I loved him. You know, we had so many things in common. We excelled at the same things. I thought him and I would be together forever. We're not going to talk about why we broke up, but this is a letter that he wrote to me, and he's like saying how cheesy this letter is, but that he's okay with it. That it says that he knew that at some point he would write this letter to me, even before we dated. Isn't that cute? And then he mentioned something that is very it's almost recurring in the letters that I get, which is they always say, and now messages obviously because nobody writes letters anymore. See,
I do.
You do, but you're
I'm a hopeless romantic.
You are, but most guys don't write letters anymore. And I have
No,
all these
they don't.
letters from the 90s, you know, and the 2000s, and
I love letters.
Me
I love
too.
love letters.
me too. And that's the thing. I think this is why I keep the box, because even though I'm no longer with them, I read this and I remember that at some point in time I was madly in love with someone, and they were madly in love with me. But a point that's recurring and that has also come up in messages now, because there are no letters, it's messages. It's the whole idea of, why are you with me?
Yes.
It's so strange. You know, every letter, every message that I revise, they're like, I love you so much, but why are you with me?
Yeah.
And then inside I'm going, why are you with me?
Why are you with me?
Yeah. Isn't it funny? Like, this is what I'm telling you. Like, we get into all these relationships and then we don't know what the other person is going through, you know, what they're reacting to.
It's so funny that you think that, because I get that a lot. Like, why are you with me from guys?
Yeah.
But I don't feel that. Like, I'm very confident and I know my worth when it comes to relationships. Like, I know
why
like what a great girlfriend I am, and like I am the dream partner, honestly. Like, I don't feel like I'm just like a girlfriend, but I'm like a best friend. I'm a cheerleader. You know, I'm your lover, like everything. And I know my worth, not physically, but with like everything else. Yes, I'm very confident. I don't feel that way. Like, why are you with me now?
No, I do. I always question that too. I mean,
Wow.
I mean, not now, because now I'm in therapy and now I'm like, I'm amazing. No, but you know what I mean? Like, I think now I know my worth and I know that I'm really good at many things. But at this point in time, I was also like confused. I'm like, you like me as much as I like you? That's strange.
Yeah.
You know, and okay, so let's put this case. We continue our investigation. This should be like a, what's it called? Investigation ID. You know?
What is that?
Oh, what do you mean? What is that? The channel where it's like, you do not watch television. That's okay. It's a, you know, but hold on. Didn't you say you like crime shows and things like that?
Netflix.
Oh my God, you millennial Gen Z. Well, back in the day, there was a thing called television, and that sometimes we had to walk towards the television and turn it on, and then remote controls appeared. But there was a thing also called cable that came with the television, and there was a channel That was called Investigation Agent.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the name
Like
of the
the
game.
History Channel, like
Exactly.
okay.
Like, and all day long they would show, shows about cold cases and serial killer
Nice.
investigations. And so let's continue with our investigation today. So let's expose this case, okay, of this person that we dated for a long time. We were madly in love with each other. Our parents loved each other. Everything was perfect. We had a great time together.
Mm-hmm.
And then poof, we broke up. And we both had made our lives with other people. I got married, he got married. I had kids, he had kids.
Mm.
We know each other still, like in the surroundings.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Isn't it weird? Like, do we still love each other?
I don't
Do we not love
think
each other?
so.
Should we not love each other, or should we love each other?
Oh my god.
I
That's weird. I
mean,
mean,
I'm not saying I want to go and get him back, or like destroy
it's
his
just like the
family.
question is like, where does love go?
Exactly, in general. And love, I'm not saying love as in like I want to sleep with him or I want to marry
No,
him,
like
but I have feelings for him. Clearly I had feelings for him.
yeah.
So where does the love go? Like, if I saw him now, I haven't seen him in person in a long time, but if I saw him, would I feel butterflies in my stomach if I loved him so much at some point?
Do you think that was love though?
I don't know. That's it. That is the question.
Because I look back at my like first relationships and now I know that wasn't love.
Well, listen.
I mean, obviously it was like very puppy love, but I don't think I loved. With my first boyfriend, I woke up one day and I said I don't love him anymore. Like that's how it was, and I broke up with him because I didn't love him anymore. I didn't feel anything.
I don't know though, because I do have to say that. I mean, if we were to say that, then I haven't loved anybody before therapy, because I was so reactionary and I was choosing the guys that I could fix to prove that I was worth something through fixing them. So technically, I've never loved anybody.
Yeah, yours was like very pathological.
Yes.
Your situation was like very pathological.
Yes.
You were a fixer.
I'm a fixer and a savior, and and the book, the one I just mentioned, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, it mentions people like me, and they're like, the savior people and the victimized people and stuff like that.
You feel you can save them somehow.
I'm always and here's the thing: with him, I didn't have to save him. He was perfect already. He's
Because he was like you.
Because he was like me.
Yeah, of course, naturally. I don't know. Where does love go? That's very interesting.
Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I still love him. I must. Right?
I feel like, okay, hear me out.
Okay, let's see.
I feel like there's so much time in between the two of you that the love is there in that point of time, but not anymore. Like it just stayed back then. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like there's so much time between you. Like you're not the same person. Like
No.
it's like almost like another life.
It is
a
another
lifetime
life.
ago. It was another life. Two people that loved each other, but that it stayed there in that period, in that moment of time.
I agree with that. I think I agree with that. Now, let's just say if this person suddenly appeared in my life. I mean, we talk to each other as friends, but if this person appeared in my life and said, Vanessa, I need a favor. Like, I need you to help me with something.
Mm.
Would I jump to help him?
I mean, you're the only one who can answer that.
I would.
You would?
I would. That's what I'm saying. There is love.
I
mean, not relationship love.
I think
like
it's more like
friendship love.
I feel like more is like you have cariño. Like
we're throwing Spanish words now. Cariño.
Like affection. How do you say like?
Yeah, affection in English. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I do have cariño. Okay, put it this way. What if, by the way, Johnny, I'm not killing you, but what if he told me he was sick and he was dying?
But you're a very empathetic person, so like I think you would feel bad for anyone who's sick and dying. And if you met them like this morning, you would feel like, oh my god, I met him at this morning, and now he's sick and dying. Like, I feel bad.
I'm gonna save him. Yeah, I would. Yeah, but beyond that, I do think that, for example, in the case of this kid, I still love him. Like I would still go beyond the call of duty to help him or his family.
But that speaks more about you on a human level than your love that used to be there or like that's still there. I feel like love is ever changing and ever growing
Yeah.
and ever transforming, if that's even
Yeah.
like a term.
No, but you're right. Yes, you're
Like
right.
it just, I feel like it morphs from being a love from like a romantic love and more to like a friendship love. That's totally,
Like a
yeah.
human love. And then it does depend with who it is, because you're right. Now looking back at my other situationships, I would not help them. Like I would not. If they call me up, I'd be like, hey, can you do me a favor? Like I did with that kid, remember? Taking care of his baby. Okay. I wouldn't do that now. But, in that specific case, because I realized that I actually never loved that person. It was more about a reaction. But I would for the people that I think that I loved. And you know what you were saying about maybe thinking that when we were younger, we didn't love as well as we love now, that we're more mature and we have knowledge. And I don't know. I mean, I think for me now in therapy, yes, I know how to love people more.
So Vanessa, a year ago, no.
No, Vanessa, a year ago, no. And that's the thing, right? Like I was 40
See,
a
like
year
everyone
ago.
has their own journey, their own timing.
Yeah. And I think that perhaps those two loves that I had in high school and right after high school, I think they were more or closer to real love than many of the love that I had as an adult after.
Maybe there's less noise and shit around you, and it's just
Yeah,
like you are able to love like purely.
Probably. Yes, probably. Even though the level of maturity wasn't there, and the experience and the lessons,
but it was more genuine. Maybe.
It was genuine, yes. And I think that you're right. I think after a lot of noise and clutter came to play, and the ego too, right? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I started becoming really successful at what I did as an actress in my 20s, how dumb was I? In my 20s, my ego just exploded. I thought I was the shit. I didn't really ground myself like I should have and how I am now. So in my 20s, perhaps I thought I was too good for people, thinking that I was too good for people, but at the same time insecure enough to go out with dirtbags and douchey people. So I don't know. Or maybe it's the people that we find along the way. No, there was this one guy that was amazing, and I was not ready for him. Like he was perfect. We dated for many years, but I was so immature and childish, and everything was trauma. Everything he did, I had a reaction towards, because it wasn't about him. It was about me.
Yeah.
The problem was with me, not with him. But if I had met him now, oh, it would be so different.
Well, but he taught you something.
Oh, everybody's taught me something, honey. Everything.
Everyone teaches you something.
Yes. But that's where the love goes.
Where?
It stays with you.
Yeah.
It goes up in the air with a person.
Sometimes it fizzles out, like our friend Tela explained to us.
And sometimes it fizzles out. That's horrible. I hate to think that.
I hate that.
But it's the truth, right?
Ugly truth.
It's the ugly truth. If you have any idea of where the love goes and you want to share that with us,
please enlighten us.
Please send us a message. We're more than willing to engage in a conversation about this because we don't know what we're talking about. We're not experts here. We're just trying to figure out how to navigate this world with the experience that we have and the knowledge and tools
and
trauma that we are, recovering from. So if you have ideas of where this love goes, and if you're an expert, a love expert, well, I'm assuming maybe psychologists have answers for this, right? Or no?
We can invite someone.
We should invite someone. Yeah.
Would you like us to have a special guest here next time a psychologist.
Oh, that's
Let us know.
That's a good idea. Would it be a psychologist or a love expert?
Could be both. One time a love expert, one time a
A
psychologist,
philosopher.
one time a philosopher.
If you have questions for us or you want us to tackle a subject, you can message us through social media.
You can find me as MF Bruson on both Instagram and TikTok.
And you can find me as Vanessa Tomasino, 1N, 1S. Thank you for listening to us talk about love and where it goes and our heartbreaks and our losses and, well, not so much you, but mine.
I mean, I've had, but I just feel like it's different experience than you.
It's a different episode. It's a different episode. Well, thank you so much for listening to episode 10. And
10,
we hope
yay.
we were supposed
two full hands. We were supposed to bring a cake.
Ah, shoot.
As per usual.
No.
Since we don't plan ahead, this is why we don't have like planned things to have on camera, but
I wanted cake. I mean, not to eat it, but I wanted to at least
I did want to eat it, but it's better because we're now on a diet.
We are.
We're not on a diet. We're on a healthy lifestyle.
Changes in lifestyle.
Anywho.
And we say it with a tear rolling around. Where's the cake? No, but yes, we'll celebrate episode 20. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah, and for the people that were asking, because a lot of people wonder how we do this show, it's exactly how Maria says. We don't prepare. We don't plan what we're going to say. There's no script. We just tackle an issue that is on our mind that week or the questions that people send in. That's why we say, send in your questions. We're very happy to answer them.
Yep.
So we'll see you episode 11.
Next time.
Bye.
Bye.